Hi, welcome to Lanas y Ovillos. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this clutch. You will see that it is a really easy technique. If you like this video, you can subscribe and receive the notifications of my new videos every week. Let's go with a step by step. To make the clutch, you need one ball of 50 grams of each color. In my case, I will use 3 colors. The recommended needle is 4 millimeters. A zip, a 4 millimeters crochet hook, scissors, needle, and a needle to sew the zip. This is a pattern for the clutch. It is a repetition of 18 stitches and 18 rows. And here you can see some repetitions of the 18 rows and the 18 stitches. You can find those patterns in our website. We are making this clutch with a tapestry technique. To make this technique, you have to start from the right to the left, and in this case, as we are working on the round, you have to work always from the right to the left and from the bottom to the top. You have to make a foundation chain multiple of 18 plus 16. So you have to make repetitions of 18 stitches and then make 16 stitches. In my case, I will start with 36 stitches, 2 repetitions of 18 stitches, and complete the foundation chain with 16 chains. So I make a chain 52. Once you have the foundation chain, you have to start the first row. We will make the first row in one color. We have to chain 1, make 1 increase in the first stitch. Remember, 1 increase means to make 2 stitches in the same space, 1 single crochet, increase, and continue making 1 single crochet on each chain to the last chain. 1 single crochet increase and single crochet to the last stitch. In the last chain we have to make 4 single crochet in the same space, 1 increase per each side, so 4 single crochet on the last chain, and continue working on the other side of the chain with 1 single crochet to the last stitch. And in the last stitch we have to make 1 increase, 2 single crochet in the last stitch to complete 1 increase of one side and 1 increase of the other side, and we have to close this row with 1 slip stitch. And we finished the first row. We have to start now with the pattern. So we have to take now the 2 other colors of the pattern. We have to make a chain taking both colors, and we can work now the 3 colors. Let's see the pattern. You have to make 3 stitches with light gray. So you have to take the light gray yarn and make one single crochet, taking the back loop, only the back loop, and wrap the yarn that you are not using. Wrap the colors and leave the colors that you are not using in the stitch. So 3 single crochet with the light gray, and in the last stitch, in the third stitch, you don't have to finish the last stitch. You have to finish the third stitch with the dark gray, that is the following color, and you have to make now 3 stitches with dark gray. Remember, taking only the back loops and leaving the colors that you are not using in the stitch. Once you are at the third stitch with the dark gray yarn, you have to complete the third stitch with the following color, in this case the white yarn. So complete the last step of the single crochet with the white yarn. And make 3 stitches with the white yarn. And we have to complete the third stitch of white color with the dark gray, following the chart, following the pattern. Three dark gray, 3 light gray, and 3 white. Remember to complete the last stitch before changing the color with the following color. In this case, I have to complete the last stitch of dark gray with light gray. Once I finished the stitch number 18 with white, I have to start again with the stitch number 1 to making the repetition. So I finished the stitch number 18 with light gray and make 3 stitches in light gray. And complete the last stitch with the dark gray yarn. You have to repeat those 18 stitches to complete the round. Once you arrive at the end of one side, you have to continue on the other side of the chain to complete this row. And you have to finish with the stitch number 18, with the third stitch in white. And you have to make a slip stitch with the first stitch to close this row. And you have to start now the row number 2. You have to start with a stitch in white. You make 1 stitch in white and you have to complete this stitch with 3 stitches in light gray. So complete the stitch with the light gray yarn and make 3 single crochet with the light gray. Remember, taking only the back loops. We only have to take the back loops in all the pattern. You have to complete the last stitch with the light gray with dark gray, following the pattern. Three stitches with dark gray, and we have to complete the dark gray yarn with the white yarn, and you have to make 2 stitches with white yarn. Complete the white stitch with dark gray and make 2 stitches with dark gray. And this is what we have to repeat to the end of the row. You have to follow the pattern. Once you finish one repetition, you have to continue making the same pattern to finish the row. In my case, I finished now the second row, and once you finish the second row, you have to make a slip stitch with the first stitch. And you have to start now the row number 3 with 2 in white, 3 gray, and following the colors. You have to make the chain 1 with the white color, and you have to make the 2 single crochet in white. It's very important to start the first stitch, to make the first stitch in the first stitch of the previous row. To keep a straight pattern, it's very important to make the first stitch in the first stitch of the previous row. So you have to follow the pattern to the end of the row. What is you have to remember in this pattern? You have to make always single crochet, taking the back loops, and you have to leave the yarn that you are not using in the stitch. You have to wrap the yarn, you have to wrap the color that you are not using with the yarn that you are using. And you have to work in the round, so you have to work from the right to the left and from the bottom to the top. I will try to explain how to make the crossings, how to make the stitches to avoid the knots or the crossings with the yarn. What you have to make is to leave the balls of yarn always in the same place. And you will avoid the knots with the balls. For example, now I have to make a stitch with the white yarn. I have to leave the yarn in the stitch. I have to leave the colors that I am not using in the stitch, and you keep the knot close to the crochet hook, and once you are making the stitch, the knot will stay in the stitch. I have to complete the white stitch with dark gray. So I have to take the dark gray yarn, pull up the yarn and complete the stitch with the dark gray. And the crossing of the yarn will be in the stitch. I have to make now 3 stitches with a dark gray. And now I have to complete the 3rd stitch of dark gray with light gray. So pull up the light gray yarn, take the other 2 colors and complete the stitch with light gray, and you have to make now 3 stitches with light gray. Remember leaving the crossing in the stitch, and I have to complete the 3rd stitch of light gray with the white yarn. So pull up the white yarn and take the other 2 colors, complete the stitch with white yarn and follow the pattern like this. And this is the tip to keep the yarn without knots. I made the 18 rows of the repetition of the pattern, and I made 2 extra rows to get the size that I wanted. If you want to make the clutch larger, you can make more rows. Remember that it is a repetition of 18 rows. And once you made all the rows that you need, you have to cut the yarn. You can see here how it looks the clutch in the wrong side. In my case, I will use a zip to close the clutch, but if you want, you can make a buttonhole, or you can make a chain to close the clutch with a button. Now I'm going to make a piece of fishtail cord. I used 4 pieces of yarn of each color. In my case, I'm using only 2 colors, and place the cord with a safety pin in a pillow to keep it on the same space. So you have to place 4 pieces of yarn on each side in the same order. I start with dark gray, then light gray, dark gray again, and finish with light gray. 4 pieces on each side. And we can start now the cord. We have to take the first piece of yarn from the left, the dark gray yarn, and leave it on the right side. And take the first piece of yarn from the right side and leave it on the left side. Repeat the same with the following color, in this case light gray. Take the light gray from the left side and leave it on the right side, and take the light gray yarn from the right side and leave it on the left side. Repeat the same with the following dark gray piece. Take the dark gray from the left to the right and the dark gray from the right to the left. And this is what you have to repeat to make the fishtail cord. You have to make a knot and sew the cord on the top of the clutch. You have to cut the yarn from the knots and you finished the cord. And if you want, you can place a tassel on the zip. Well, that's all. I hope you like it. Remember to give a like, share and subscribe to receive the notifications of my new videos. See you on the next week.